What's up YouTube, is One Way Up here, back with another video review. And in this video I have the Tesla Model 3 for you. So the Tesla Model 3 is Tesla's most sold vehicle. This car was highly produced since it came out in 2017, and the one that I have in front of you today is the 2022 model year. And as you can see from the general styling of the video on the outside, nothing much has changed since 2017. All Teslas, or Model 3s rather, have that signature look from Tesla. You generally get the same shape of the lights. The front bumper has some inserts and slits on the bottom with some fog lights. I know they've updated the lights a little bit for the 2022 model year. They added projector beams in one of the bulbs. But overall, the styling on the Model 3 is a conservative look. This car does come in 3 different versions you can get. This one is the standard range. You can also opt for the extended range version, which comes with all-wheel drive, and you also have the performance version as well. These cars do have an option to get different rim options. I do like these rims better because I feel like the plastic dark colored hubcaps that you can get feel very cheap. These look better and last better in the long run. I will say that the plastic hubcaps that you could offer or option for do get very scuffed up over the years if you rub your wheels against the curb. This is a nice bright red color for the Tesla Model 3. We do have the camera right there on the side for your turn signals. Another camera right there on the side pillar. There's a look at the rear of the vehicle. You know, pretty conservative look, but also nice and stylish at the same time. So as far as on the rear, there's nothing really that separates the 3 different versions of this car. The only thing you'll see is the dual motor badge right there on the side. Tesla logo on the hood and the back of the vehicle. So for the Model 3, one of the great things about Teslas is you can use your phone as the key for the car. Basically, you just download the app, keep the phone in your pocket. As soon as you walk towards your car, you can set it for the car to unlock automatically, but you also have the option to get a valet key card for the vehicle, which is what I have here. To lock and unlock the car, tap it right there, the mirrors fold. To unlock it, push it again, the mirrors unfold. I do feel like if you are going to get a Tesla, best option is to use your phone as the key, because with this one you have to come around to the driver's side every time to lock and unlock the car. The key does not have any buttons or anything on it. You press on the back part of the handle and then you pull. This car does have the black colored interior. Nice thing I love about these vehicles is that if it's hot or cold, as soon as you open the door, the climate system turns on. But if you do have the app and you're using your phone as the key, you can start your car before you get to it to keep it at an optimum temperature before you get inside the vehicle. So here's a look at it. Overall, the car is a very minimalistic look for the design. There isn't much buttons in the cabin, if anything. You do have 2 buttons on the steering wheel, nothing over here. And for your doors, you have this button right here to open your doors and for the windows. But everything else, very minimalistic. You have your hazard button right there in a unique spot, but it does keep the bottom and center part of the car free. There are your headlamps. So I'm going to open the front of the vehicle. Since this is an electric vehicle, you don't have an engine in the front. So lifting it up, the space isn't going to be as spacious as you would get and an actual trunk, but you do have a decent amount of space in here. I have seen other electric manufacturers do have trunks in the front of the vehicle, but they don't have as much space as this Tesla. So you can't pile too many things into here, but you could put a large duffel bag and it should be able to fit snugly. There's the tool for the tow hook, and you have your windshield washer cap or windshield washer fluid right there. To close the trunk, you push it, and then you have to give it a second push for it to lock, for it to be fully closed. So stepping back in the car, close the door. This vehicle is optioned with this fake wood trim that's going along the doors on both sides and the dash. You could also opt for a solid color instead. Now this car does not use real leather, but it is a nice soft touch material that they do have. Part of it is plastic, like this part running along the outside of this suede trim on the side of the door. Your windows are all for automatic down and up, which I do really like that they added that to this vehicle. A good thing about Teslas is that they all come pretty much optioned out. The only really difference is you're paying between the three versions of this Model 3 is for more range or performance. But everything else aside, you do get the same features. You could opt for full self-driving, auto lane change assist, and it's great. I do like that you could choose to go for a cheaper version of this vehicle but not miss out on any of the features that you would get in a lot of other manufacturers. So moving over to the steering wheel, only 2 buttons on it. This button. So moving over to the steering wheel, there's only 2 buttons on it. The knob or ball on the left side of the steering wheel is to control your volume, so you can move it up and down. If you press it in, you can mute your radio, and you can also flick it. Turn that down. Okay, so you can also click it to the left and to the right to change your song. And also this button adjusts your side view mirrors and your steering wheel, which you can adjust through the screen, which I'll show you in a few minutes. On the right side, you do have this knob to adjust your speed. So as you're on the highway and you put your car in cruise control, as you scroll this, you can adjust the speed that you want the car to go to, and it's so much easier to move this knob up and down to control the speed as you would or compared to a vehicle that has more buttons on their steering wheel. So what I mean is, let's say you're in a Ford Expedition or something like that, and you want to slow the car down, you have to click the minus button to lower your speed, or if you want to speed up, you have to constantly click the button to move the speed up, and it can only do it in increments of 1. But with this knob, as you scroll it, it has different notches on it, so you can really change your speed. You can go up 10 miles per hour or down 10 miles per hour very quickly without having to do much to the vehicle. So on the left side of the steering wheel, this is your turn signal / you can also turn on your windshield wipers. You just press this button right here, and the wipers options come up, and you can control if you want it on auto or your different levels. On the right side, you do have the shift knob, which puts the car in drive, reverse, or neutral. It's very simple and easy. So all you do is, when you first sit in the vehicle, when you're using the valet key card, it'll tell you to tap the key card right behind the cup holders. So put the key card right there. When you hear the chimes, the car is good to go. Shift down for drive. As the car shifts to drives, it gives you a view of your lanes as you're driving. Cars in front of you, as you can see, there's one right there on the screen, and it's the car that's supposedly supposed to be in my lane. But as you drive, the screen will populate with vehicles, lanes, cones, even bicycle riders and trucks. It'll give you different icons for all that, which is very cool and intuitive with this vehicle. To shift to reverse, just put your foot on the brake, shift up, get your backup camera, and to park, just press the button right there. Another great thing about this vehicle is that those cameras that we do have on the side of the car, which it does show you on the display right here, is for your turn signal. So when I put on my left turn signal, I do have the camera that comes up that shows what's in my blind spot for the left side. And when I change it to the right side, the same thing happens. Now, this screen I believe is 15 inches. You get plenty of real estate to do what you want with the vehicle. You can keep the map up, which is basically its home screen, and the map is very intuitive. You can even change it to a satellite imaging view, as if you're looking down from satellite imaging, and it's really cool how it'll track where your car is along the road. For those of you who are looking for a specific house on the map, it'll tell you exactly where it is versus using the standard screen. And then you also have an option for traffic updates and data as well. So another great thing about this car is the climate is very easy to operate and adjust. So once you hit the degrees, you can adjust the temperature through here by just dragging that from the left to the right. Fan speed can be adjusted up there. Your AC on and off. You do have your heated seats right here. You have 3 positions for it. So that's the hottest, the second, the first. You can turn it off. Direction of your air can be controlled from this side. A nice thing that I do like is that the vents are hidden. So the screen is giving you a visual display of where the air is coming from, which is this little slit that's along the dash. And when I open it, I could adjust the direction of the air. Now I don't really feel a difference that much when I adjust the direction of the airflow, but it is a cool feature to have where you don't have to physically move any vents up and down to adjust where you want your air to come from, or if you want to turn it on and off. For the passenger, I could do the same thing, or if I want to turn it off, there is a way to do it, just not working for me right now. But you can completely shut off the passenger vent and just keep the driver's side on if you choose. The car does have an option to keep the car at a good optimal temperature after you leave. It does have a dog mode, so if you leave your pet in the car, it'll keep the car at a good temperature, and it'll have writing on the screen to let people know if they walk by that, hey, you know, the owner is going to come back, the car's at a good temperature, so don't worry about my dog passing out in the car. The car also has a camp mode as well. I heard this folds down all the seats so that you can use your car to sleep in, and the car will stay until battery reaches 20%. Entry mode. Okay, well, that's basically what camp mode does. Let me turn this back off. This car does come with a heated steering wheel. You do have 2 positions for your heated steering wheel and heated windshield. Now these options for the heated steering wheel, windshield, and for the rear seats is an extra package. I believe it's $350 that you pay, and you do get the option for that. It's a quick software update, and then they put it in the car. But this is how I switched to the rear seats, so you can control the rear heated seats from the front, which is nice. And it even has it for the middle seat. And I love how quick and easy it is for you to just swipe up and swipe down between screens in this car. So down here you have a camera where you can look and get lifetime footage of what's going on around your car. Phone options, that's the backup camera. When you hit those 3 dots right there, you do have more apps that come up. So you do have a calendar, you know, manuals, notepad, sketchpad. Teslas do come with a lot of different features and fun things you can do. As I open up the toolbox now, you could give the car the sound of farts. So just hit that kind of fart you want to play. You can control the volume if you want the fart to play on the outside of the car. Let me turn the volume down. You have a theater mode, which you have streaming apps like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, YouTube. This is a $15 per month subscription, but with this subscription you do get the option to stream, shows from your car, movies, whatever you want to do. You can even browse the internet, and it also gives you real-time traffic updates for its navigation system, which is excellent. There's some games you can play. You could play music on your car, so screen will have a keyboard pop up on it, so you can play different sounds and save your tracks that you make. This is a real nice feature I do like. It's a romance mode, so when you hit get cozy, it'll put on this fireplace and it'll blow heat out from the car through the climate system. So I'm gonna drag that down. Volume can also be controlled from this side. This screen right here is where you go to control your settings. So the windshield wipers are set to automatic, so as it starts raining, it'll sense the raindrops on the windshield and activate it. You could adjust the mirrors through that left ball on the steering wheel. So if I want to adjust the left mirror, I can move it to the side. I can move it down and up. Same thing for the right side. I just have to select right on there. You can control how you want the mirrors to tilt. If you shift to reverse, I like to have my mirrors tilt down so that I don't rub my rims against the curb. Move that out the way. You could adjust the steering wheel through here, same button. You select that, same knob, can move it up and down, tilt and telescoping as well. Your pedals and steering. So this is to control how the car accelerates. You have standard and chill. Chill is going to be more relaxed, so the car isn't going to use as much power to accelerate because it is going to be reduced. Steering mode, you have comfort, standard, and sport. I'll always love a comfort setting on my steering wheels because I don't like to feel like I'm working too hard to steer the car, but you can put it in sport mode and give yourself a more sporty feel because this car does handle pretty well. It's not the fastest, but it is do a 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, so you won't be having any issues getting up to speed when you're merging or passing people, which is a great thing about these vehicles. You do get instant power when you put your foot down because there's no lag as what you would get in a combustion engine. And this is for your stopping mode. So I always like to put it on hold, so that means when I take my foot off the gas, the car will start to slow down, and as it's slowing down, it'll use the speed at which it decelerates to charge the battery to give you a little bit more range over time. You do have the option to put it in roll to feel more like a normal car, but it is not going to feel quite like a combustion car, but it does reduce the speed at which the car does slow down. Here you have some charging, so you can look at your charging info, see where you last charged it, how much it costs. I do really like that it gives you lifetime stats about how much you're paying and the kilowatt hours that it's using and all that. You can set a speed limit for your car. Now this is for the autopilot. I do really love the autopilot in Teslas. The Tesla's autopilot works so much better than adaptive cruise control or smart cruise or whatever other manufacturers decide to call their advanced cruise control systems. Tesla's is by far the best autopilot cruise control system I've ever driven. I haven't driven the ones in the high-end cars like the Lucid or the Porsche EVs that they have, but I will say that the Tesla's adaptive cruise control or autopilot works very well. It does a great job of keeping the car in the lanes. It senses the lane, and as you're driving, it'll sense the cars to the left and right of you. So if a vehicle in your right starts to pull over to your left, to the lane that you're in, it'll sense it, because as the car is in drive, let's see if I could kind of give you a representation here. It'll have one of these icons to your side, and if it starts to move over, the car will sense it and prepare to stop. A lot of other manufacturers, as the car starts moving into your lane, you won't realize it till the car's like halfway or 3/4 of the way in your lane, and then it will slam on the brakes really hard. So Tesla system, very easy to use, much better, smarter, and it's so much easier to adjust your speed as you're on the highway. And it's definitely something that you should get in the Tesla if you get a car. I really would not recommend getting a Tesla without getting its standard autopilot system. Full self-driving is another story. That's an extra $15,000 option. Some people say it's not worth it, but definitely the autopilot is a must. So more options here. You can control your locks. You know, if you shift to park, do all the doors lock or unlock. Lights of the car, I like to leave everything on auto. There's really no reason not to. And for the display, I do like that you have your light and dark theme for those of you who do like things dark. I prefer the light theme, but you could set it for whichever system way you want it, or you can leave it on auto. When it gets dark, change it to the dark theme. When it's during the day or when the light's out, it'll leave it on the bright theme. You can adjust your brightness and text size, time. So lots of nice things. You can look at your odometer, navigation. Now this is a really great feature that Teslas have, is their Sentry mode. So let's say you're parking your car in the street in a place that you're not used to. Turn on Sentry mode. While Sentry mode is on, the cameras will be on whenever it picks up movement around the vehicle. So this car does have cameras on the left side, the right side, the front, and the back. So when you come back to your vehicle, the car will give you a list of all Sentry events that came up, which is when people or an object comes too close to your vehicle, the cameras will be able to give you a replay of what happened. So that way, if anything happens to your vehicle, someone does something to it, you can find out who did it, when it happened, and save the footage. So you can also update the car. Another amazing thing about Teslas is that they do continually support their vehicles and put software updates, which actually changes how the car drives and improves the vehicle overall. So that's another great thing that you get with Teslas. In the long run, the cars do hold up in value, because even if you have an older model Tesla, they will continually update all their vehicles with the latest technologies or what needs to be changed to make the car drive and operate better. But these materials inside the car overall feel very nice. We do get 2 wireless charging pads right here, which work better than a lot of other manufacturers. I will say that your phone can get very hot if you're charging your phone on one of these pads while you're using it to stream something. I wouldn't recommend doing that, or maybe it's just for certain phones, but while your phone's charging, it's best to just leave it and not open any apps in the background as it's charging. But it does a lot better job of, or a quicker job of charging than other manufacturers. Moving down, you do have a pretty deep amount of storage space in the front right here, and then you just slide it, this little lever, if you want to keep it closed and hidden. You have 2 cup holders here, you know, regular size. You have a nice padded armrest with more storage space. So this car has a decent, I will say, I'm very impressed with the storage space in the car. Even though it is a small car on the outside, you do get that amount of space over there, decent size for the door pockets, and then you even get a great amount of storage space in the trunk, which I will show you. But these seats are not real leather, but they do feel soft, and the shape is very comfortable. I don't like how you can adjust the headrest, but I haven't really had a need to. But in case you're someone who wants to adjust their headrest, you won't have that option to do that in Tesla. To open the door, press this, but you can also flip this lever for the emergency door unlock. And then with the roof of the vehicle, it comes with a standard glass roof where you can see out of. It is separated for the front and rear drivers. It does have a tint to it, so I do like that it has a tint so it doesn't feel as hot if the sun is blaring down on the vehicle. But you do get a nice open view with this car. Flipping down their sun visor, I do like that it is a magnet, so it's pretty easy to detach it and slide it to the side. Feels more futuristic. And I do like how you could fold down the visor in different parts, and there you get your mirror, and it's a magnet as well. Hazard lights right here. Dome lights work pretty well. Alright. Now I'm stepping out of the car. I'm going to step into the back seat. You gotta look at the back seat. Here's a look at the door. Have your speaker in the door. Pretty nice. Now I don't expect this vehicle to have the most backseat space, but I am 6'3". I feel okay back here. Actually, I am surprised. I do have about 3.5 inches of headroom, maybe 3, and seating position is far back, but my knees only press against the seat when I put my legs together. But overall, it's doable. It's definitely doable. You have 2 USB ports back here, your vents, which are manually operated, but that's pretty much as far as what's back here. There isn't really much. You have some hooks for your child seats, but there's no buttons back here to control the heated seats. That has to be done through the front. So I'm gonna open the vehicle and show you guys the trunk. So all Tesla Model 3s come with an automatic opening trunk, which is nice to know. So you guys can excuse my bag. Let me move this out the way. Get a better view of what's in the trunk. So yeah, this trunk is very spacious. You have a side pocket right here where you can store some things. It goes actually about 1 foot into there. And another nice thing about these is that you lift up this compartment and you have more space in the trunk. So you get a good amount of space, and you can also fold down the seats as well. They fold 60/40, I believe. So you fold those seats down and you get additional space. There's the button right there to close the trunk. It automatically closes. Alright, so now I'm going to put the car on the road and tell you guys what I think about it. Okay, so we're shifting to drive. And behind the wheel of the Tesla. So the first thing you notice is the car is very quiet. Since it's not a combustion vehicle, there is no engine noise, but the acceleration feels very smooth. The car doesn't have gears, so when you accelerate, it does have a very nice and relaxing effect. And if you put your foot down and really get into it, the car accelerates, pretty quick. The way the car drives is very nice. I do like the way it feels when it's on the highway. You have the cruise control on. It's very relaxing. You don't really have to do much to drive the car. I will say the suspension on the Model 3 isn't as good as what you'd get on the Model S or the Model X, but when you're on a smooth road, the car does have a really nice feel to it. So my overall opinions on the Tesla Model 3, right now they're going for around 40,000, which is still high for a new car, but the average car in the US has been selling for around 50,000 right now, which is, you know, over 10,000 more than what you can get for one of these Teslas, especially with the government giving you a rebate on them. I think they're a great option. If you do have the money available to finance it and you're in a position to do so, then I definitely would recommend it. You can save money in the long run too, with the cheaper cost to charge this car up versus having to pay for gasoline, and just the simplicity of the Tesla as a whole. The cars, it feels more like Tesla feels more like a software company than a car company. So you're really paying for the infrastructure and the ease of living with these vehicles. So I definitely am a big fan of Teslas, and if you are in the market for one, the Model 3 is definitely a great option. If you are living in a place where there's snow or you do get some harsh winters, I would recommend the all-wheel drive version. But if you're a good driver and the winters don't get really too bad where you are, then this version will work just fine for you. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.